This is an article written by MSNBC Hee Haw. Headline: Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad reflects a darker side of pop culture trends. Subheadline: Advertisements are always mirrors of society, and sometimes what they reflect is ugly and startling. Close quote. First, as Piers Morgan said, there was an ad for jeans done by Beyonce. Hypersexual. Nobody had a problem. The MSNBC Hee Haw article continues. The ad says she has great genes and mentions the word genes, G-E-N-E-S, crossed out, replaced with the word J-E-A-N-S. Quote, the internet has been quick to condemn the advertisement as non-inclusive at best and as overtly promoting white supremacy and Nazi propaganda at worst. The backlash has been swift and fierce, and some of it, at least if you ask me, this person writes, is fair. The internet has been quick to condemn the advertisement as non-inclusive at best and as overtly promoting white supremacy and Nazi propaganda at worst. By the way, note how she says the internet. The internet. Everybody on the internet has done this? She embodies the near mythological girl next door, beautiful but low maintenance, sexy femininity that dominated the media in the 1990s and early 2000s. Can I ask you something? Had you seen the ad? Would it have put your panties in a bunch? It's promoting white superiority. Are you aware that studies going back over decades find that black women have higher self-esteem than white women? Black women, despite being on average heavier than white women, are far happier with their bodies than are white women. So if ads like this are promoting white superiority, they don't appear to be working, at least not as far as. So here is the controversial ad in question. The woman at MSNBC Hee Haw, who happened to be white, by the way, calls racist.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has great jeans.
You see what I did there, right?
Oh, how incredibly offensive. Hannah Holland of MSNBC Hee Haw says people on the internet have been calling it white supremacy, Nazi propaganda, and if you ask me, at least some of the criticism is fair. Nobody seemed to have a problem when Beyonce had a similar ad and posed in a very similar way with very, very tight-fitting top. Now, the reason I suppose that people like Mark Lamont Hill is upset is because somehow he believes it is elevating the idea of white beauty and denigrating the idea of black beauty. Here's the problem. Black women have higher self-esteem than white women. Glamour magazine back in 2017. Headline: Black women are more confident than any other group of females according to a survey. Oops. Glamour teamed up with L'Oreal Paris to conduct a survey of 2,000 women in all 50 states that takes an in-depth look at the factors that increase or undermine confidence. Our 50 States of Women series breaks down some of the surprising findings and explores the issues that connect and divide us in 2017. Quote, in survey question after survey question, a pattern emerged. Black women consistently reported higher self-esteem than white or Hispanic women, and among other things, they were far more likely to describe themselves as successful and beautiful. And this is consistent with other studies, says Dr. Jean Twenge, Ph.D., who has examined the effect of race on self-confidence. And she says, and I'm quoting her, research shows black women score higher on self-esteem than women of other races and ethnicities, which may seem surprising given the long history of prejudice and discrimination they have faced, end of quote. The article continues. Black women also think more positively about themselves and their bodies when they look in the mirror. 56% say, I am proud of the person I am becoming, and 47% say, I am happy the way I am. For white women, those figures are just 37 and 34% respectively. But the Sydney Sweeney ad promotes the idea of white superiority and the white standard and model for beauty. Could I hear the ad again, please?
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
You see what I did there, right?
MSNBC Hee-Haw. In her video, Sweeney exudes a sort of vintage sexiness that caters to the male gaze. No kidding. A male gaze that promotes white supremacy. Quote, critics point to the copy and the implication of calling a white person superior because of their genes. Genes. Now, back to more facts. A fact to a toe-tag liberal is like kryptonite to Superman, I understand. A 2020 study found, quote, no association between racism and self-esteem. Studies show black women far happier with their bodies than white women, who are often obsessed with a Barbie-type physique. White women like their curves and are far happier with how they look in a mirror. Black women like their curves, rather, and are far happier with their image in the mirror than white women. But this ad suggests the exaltation of the superiority of white standards of beauty. Then how in the world do you explain that black women, and by the way, black men too, black young men, higher self-esteem than white young men, and much higher self-esteem than Asian young men, despite the alleged racism and the alleged trashing of their images on television and movies?
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.